Hello everyone, it's Crepe again, with a text-to-speech finally. I've been thinking of using this for a while, since the normal text usually got in the way of the screenshots. I'm making this video because in response to the other one I made, it seems like doodlepuke thought she could attempt to blackmail me into silence. Alongside that, one of her friends was purposely deleting their comments and then acting like it was me doing so. Another one even tried threatening me. They can't blackmail me with the supposedly private information they have on me though. I'm 17 and I've never hid that. However, doodlepuke was able to blackmail somebody else into silence, a user by the name of Girly Pop, who I've recently spoken to. I'll be getting into how she was treated by her in this video alongside what I mentioned before. I already know what will be said about me talking to her, and to that I say I don't appreciate other random adults who have been malicious to me dictating who speaks to me. It's pure hypocrisy. With that, I'll get into the video. Here, Doodle says that she checks people's ages with ID, so that nobody would ever be underage interacting with her, yet both her and Fatal interacted with me without even bothering to simply ask how old I am when we first spoke. Doodle also says here that they aren't in contact with Splatbox, which has the possibility of being true, though still doesn't change the fact that she alongside Fatal are two of his top supporters. Sad when any of his videos get taken down and willing to defend Splat's wrongdoings. I knew she would try to say what she did to me wasn't guilt tripping. I'd imagine her friend who threatened me would say the same about threatening me. I'd even imagine they'd like to say that what they tried to do to both me and Girly Pop was not blackmail. What they would be doing by saying that is a completely different thing, gaslighting. I have no idea what she was trying to say about identities being exposed here, as I never said I was trying to do anything like that. In fact, when it came to Splat, his identity was not plastered on the internet. His family was simply informed what he was drawing and posting by someone he was close to. Considering the same person who has deleted and remade their Tumblr account multiple times is also the person who was deleting their comments and claiming it was me, I think this was all something they said to make me look bad. Her not responding to me ended up being a lie, and here you can see them already assuming that I am underage. This whole thing of hers about reaching out to them ends up being really hypocritical. Once you see how she responded when Girly Pop tried to do that, she also just made me look on her channel, rather than comment me her email once I started to have difficulty, since I'm on mobile. Anybody who posts fan art when it comes to any media is technically a part of the community. They also say they don't know them, and yet the comment they left underneath the video got basically the exact same amount of likes as Doodle's one, which I would have to assume was done by people they know, since a lot of people in that comment section very clearly speak to each other outside of it. Luckily for them, I've already stated how I don't have the full evidence for them liking the Sean post of that paraphile, as when I went to look for the account again to search for that evidence, the said account was deleted. I didn't state my age here, and I probably could have, though as I already said, they already assumed that I was underage and I never stated otherwise. I only said to her the actual reason I was having difficulty. This is the person who lied about me deleting their comment. I mentioned them once offhandedly in my video, saying they should simply block an account if they did not know how old they were, considering they had no age in their bio. I gave them the benefit of the doubt, and everything said that they possibly could have known, and that's why they hadn't. This overreaction with them deleting their Tumblr when I never said they should do so, and then proceeding to lie about me deleting their comments, all seemed very manipulative. In general, they are also saying a lot of personal information that didn't need to be said about themselves, in what again I can only assume is a way to try and guilt trip me. Specifically guilt tripping me into taking said video down. You can see that they also assumed that I was young. How young exactly they assumed I was, I don't know. Whatever a child means to them, I suppose. Apparently other fan bases being worse takes away from how bad theirs is. I suppose a horrible family means not agreeing with drawing child porn in this context. Adult content that involves said minors in that same content fictional or not. I also love how blatant they started being at the end, about how they were all in my comments section specifically going against me, so I would take it down. No, I'm not doing this for attention. I'm doing this because I've seen what type of people you are, at least on the internet. As for me somehow stalking any of you, like I've said many times, it's not my fault that you were never taught cyber safety in school. What you post on your accounts that billions of people have possible access to is public information. This is the comment I'm pretty sure they said I deleted that I didn't even get a proper screenshot of before they deleted it themselves. The supposedly personal information I had in the video was all shared either on somebody's public Tumblr account, their YouTube channel, or in my public comments section, so if they didn't want anybody else knowing that, they shouldn't have said it publicly. They then proceed to sympathize with Splat of all people, who in previous videos I have proved is predatory, and act like Splat hasn't been back, where they all are on Tumblr. And no, I didn't go out of my way to contact these people, who on earth would want to, when absolutely anybody that disagrees with them is ganged up on, guilt-tripped, gaslit, threatened, and blackmailed. This is ironic, since all of you did come after me and were very obviously angry, so I guess by your own words you are actually a community causing harm. This would be the person who threatened me, and yes, I will use both screenshots of their comments underneath my video and of the conversation we later had on Discord, considering it was my video that comment was under and Doodle was already threatening to post said screenshots of me and Grotto's conversation, as if I didn't have said screenshots myself and would care about that being public information. Here's where they claim that I deleted their comment. They also said something that very much contradicts what Doodle said about there never being any minors, by saying some just slipped through the cracks, but not to focus on them. Focus on the other bad people. Trying to be nice is kind of a crazy thing to say considering. Oh, and before I forget, this is a reply to someone I've spoken to before, who they ended up saying joined some server Doodle was in. I asked this person if they did this. They said no, so I really have no idea what the hell they were talking about when they said that. Okay, can at least remember well enough that I never called 1800 Lost Cat a predator in my video. Once again, I mentioned them offhandedly in my video. If you want to talk about somebody who has a lot of influence, that would be Doodle on YouTube and Fatal on Tumblr. They're acting like I made them delete their account. You've also probably seen certain parts of the comments in earlier parts of the video. That would be because they edited their comments. I stated that this person could have been underage because by all means they could have been. I never stated that I knew exactly how old they were and lied that they were a minor. Honestly, if they want to bring that to court, they can. They are but a small part of that video. Nothing would change if they were edited out. That's not to say I will edit them out, of course, depending on what happens. I'm just saying that because I know the actual reason behind them doing that is to try to get me to be quiet about every single one of them. This is, of course, a blatant lie. I did not delete anything, and I was also monitoring my own comment section, considering I have the comments that 1800 Lost Cat has now deleted. I thank them for trying to help me though. You also could have not had an entire mental breakdown in my comments section and pretended that I was deleting your comments, but here we are. Music change time. I'll show the Discord screenshots now and then all of the exchange between me and Doodle after that, even though that alongside a few comments can still be found on my recent video and community post. After that, I'll finally get into all the new stuff on Tumblr and of course what happened with Girly Pop. The actual reason being is I know how connected their Tumblr community is and that practically all of them speak with each other. This was proven when as soon as I told Grotto I was 17, it took mere minutes for Doodle to also know. I didn't want to give Doodle or Fatal any sort of heads up about the video that was going to be made, as people who are doing harm tend to be prepared then and hide what they've been doing better. They wanted to use this conversation against me from the start clearly, so of course say that I'm being aggressive when you have threatened to somehow turn this into a legal thing. Don't have much to say here that I haven't already said. Okay, I'll admit in that first part I was definitely being hypocritical, as I am a person who has only stated my age in DMs and when asked. I have changed that though by making this video and may even put it in my bio now. Though I think it clearly shows how much these people check how old others are, with how this person stated to me right before I told them how old I was that they'd never interacted with anybody underage. Like I said, these people already assumed I was underage, not an adult. I'm surprised I had to say it myself and they weren't outright asking how old I was at all. Let me reiterate, Doodle never even asked me that months ago, even though she stated just how thoroughly she checks others' ages before interacting with them, even just asking me my age. I meant that when I said it. Splat still has this problem and all of these people specifically still support him, support others like him. They don't give a fuck about my safety, they just think my age may be a way to shut me up. Here they threaten me again. This video doesn't involve your blog anyways. It involves what you've said in places where you have actively sought me out. It's not an assumption if you are very clearly friends with Doodle, someone who constantly white knights for fatal. They very quickly become immature, I suppose, to mask the fact they're threatening me. Once again, just because you say you're not doing something, does not mean you aren't doing it. This is the last thing they said before they deleted every comment they made. I think the reason why may be when they said we have since blocked all the other ones, meaning there was minors in the fan base and they were interacting with them. I also used the same account I always have to view 1800 Lost Cats Tumblr, which is one where I have posted nothing. I have no idea what they mean again. Here's Doodle making up that one of the people that I speak to has joined whatever server she has on one of her Tumblrs. This is what the comment said before she supposedly deleted it or YouTubed it because it was not me once again. Here, she makes out like I've kept my age a secret because unlike what she's tried to say about checking people's ages, she never confirmed mine. Bullshit, the reason you stopped making that video was because you realized that you couldn't lie about that, since I am the living, breathing contradiction to that statement of you checking how old everybody is. I can't confirm or deny what she says here about who Fatal was talking to, since the person he was talking to's name is blurred and they have no profile picture. Though it still wouldn't surprise me considering how many times you've lied and tried to pretend that Splat was not back on Tumblr. Whether or not I can confirm you're talking to him does not matter. You wholeheartedly support and defend him, and I've proved that. I never hid my age from her. She never asked. None of them ever asked like they supposedly always do. They had already assumed I was underage. Proof is right back a few minutes earlier in this video. I only said I'd never joined it because by this point, hadn't checked in with the other person mentioned. She never responded after this. The rest of the conversation between us went down on the community post I made. I also had the screenshots, so you will no longer be trying to use that against me. I did not and will not be giving her that Tumblr. They've already proved that they will speak about me when they think I'm not looking, try and sabotage what I'm doing here when they think I can't see it. Either way, I already proved that whatever you were supposedly upholding with minors interacting with you was bullshit. You don't check people's ages, and the only reason you're supposedly trying to do good here is so you can silence me. You were extremely aggressive here. To call me immature and be this unprofessional is ironic. What you say next disgusted me greatly and proves to me that none of you give a shit about my supposed safety. Hoping I get creeped on? I don't think I need to say much about just how disgusting that is to say, predator or not a predator. You're terrible enough people with all the stuff you've said and the stuff you've done. Now for everything that went down on Tumblr next. There seems to be a pattern of both deleting comments and pretending it was the other person and blackmail with doodlepuke. I'll mention this first though, as this is where they attempt to do damage control and say something that's hypocritical again to what they say to Girly Pop later. She says all this while being in a fan base for Splatbox, a guy who never has and never will have age warnings on his videos that should be 18+, a guy who also had a Discord server for said sexual videos with minors in it. That's not weird, that's predatory. You clearly don't properly respond to people who reach out to you, considering how you reacted to Girly Pop doing so. I'm not going to waste my breath, especially since you definitely know where to find me. My Discord in my channel bio is visible on mobile and PC, and like your email you tell everybody to contact you on. Really weird considering you do have a Discord. Here's what Girly Pop said, blatantly asking you to talk to her. This is what you said in response rather than speak to her first. I thought people weren't meant to make call-out posts before speaking to people, Doodle? I think we've all said we want to kill someone and not meant it on occasion. It's great how you couldn't say Girly Pop was immature because of her age, so instead you tried to make out that she was crazy, when she was calling you out on what you were doing before me. You support Splatbox. You are the reason why Splat has not fallen into irrelevancy, why he still makes money despite the shit he has done. Here is where she tried to blackmail us both. The said screenshots that Doodle was trying to hold over my head are already in this video. As for whatever she thinks she has on Girly Pop, I only have some screenshots she sent me of their conversation. Nevertheless, Girly Pop wanted me to post this. This last part especially is particularly threatening and malicious to her. You are also an adult, Doodle. You have interacted with me. Do not demonize her for doing so, especially when that post you made involved both of us. I'll talk to anybody on my channel when it comes to the topics of my videos, especially if they are a victim. She attempts to reach out to you again, since you still won't talk to her privately, which you criticized me for not doing with you. You know, it's funny how I could very much say that I don't want anything to do with you, still doesn't change the fact that I posted about you even if true. It also is blackmail to threaten to spread something personal someone said to you around to other people, just to keep them quiet, and then you imply that she deleted your comment on the other post she made. Girly Pop says exactly what I've been experiencing here, being that she never deleted Doodle's comment. She states she's never had an OnlyFans, and whether or not that's true still does not matter. Like she has said here, what Fatal is posting is not normal NSFW. I couldn't give less of a damn about normal NSFW, especially in OnlyFans, which is locked behind a paywall so minors cannot access it. It would be even more fucked up if that were true and you were spreading that around about her. That is life ruining. That is something people tend to keep secret because it tends to be seen as something shameful. Meanwhile, Fatal gets off on fictional necrophilia, incest, and pedophilia, and that's better. That's okay. Here, she finally talks to Girly Pop, but on Tumblr instead of Discord. She comes into the conversation mocking and then sends Girly Pop screenshots, which show they have been stalking her. You guys really are hypocrites. It's especially creepy considering I don't think that Girly Pop has the same username on a lot of these. That's how I found Fatal and Doodle's other accounts, because they had the same exact users and had their alt accounts on their mains. Here you can see Girly Pop do what I had to make Fatal and Doodle both do, put an MDNI on their accounts with sexual content inside. It states on this Instagram that she has an OnlyFans, which I'm pretty sure is just a joke. No, I have not sought out this account. I was merely shown this screenshot and have used it here to show all of you what Doodle has attempted to use against her. Doodle showing that she is using this to blackmail her again, and once again may I state that what Fatal posts is not normal NSFW. I don't know who Fawn is, but I doubt their content is much better. She did do this, and Girly Pop ended up deleting a bunch of the messages between them because she genuinely considered keeping quiet about this. I'm kinda still in disbelief that Girly Pop tried to be nice to her after how horrible she'd been. Either way, that deal's over now, kinda like what happened with me. You're not going to silence her or anybody else. People are free to not agree with the horrid stuff that is being posted. If you want to contact me, do it on Discord. If you don't, then don't. Just know I'm not taking any of these videos down, in case a reminder was needed. Anything else I might not have responded to, I did not feel the need to. I have said what I have said.